Hello guys, now we'll study the class 9th NCERT Democratic Politics Working of Institution. So under the working of institution, here we will see the political executive, how the political executive basically perform their work. Now, do you remember the story of Office of Memorandum with which we started this chapter? Okay, obviously we have started this chapter with the Mandal Commission that passes the resolution for the Office of Memorandum. Now, we found out that the person who signed the document did not take this decision. Okay, we saw that the person who has signed on that document, whose signature was compulsory, has not taken the decision. Now he was only executing the policy decision taken by someone else. Okay, what the function was that person doing? That was just executing the policy which were taken, whose decision were taken by the some other person. Now we noted the role of prime minister in the taking the decision. Okay, we have also see how the prime minister play a crucial role while taking the decision. Now, but we also know that he could not have taken that decision if he did not have support from Lok Sabha. Okay, already we have studied about the council of minister. Okay, prime minister enjoyed the support of council of minister. If there is no support of prime minister, the prime minister could not take the decision. Now in that sense, he was only executing the wishes of parliament. So basically what here we can see that, or we can understand here that what was the function which was playing by the prime minister. That was he was just executing the wishes. Suppose the 50 members of parliament or 50 members Lok Sabha, they are in favor of the particular order or particular policy, that prime minister has to sign on that. Okay, so in this case prime minister is just completing the wishes of parliament. Thus, at different levels of government, we find functionaries who take a day-to-day decision but do not exercise supreme power on behalf of the people. Okay, we also we have also saw that there are some people who take the decision. Okay, who execute them. Okay, but they don't have a supreme power. They cannot tell that this is not right, they cannot reject that. All those functions are collectively known as executive. Okay, so basically ये सारा जो काम जो हमने ऊपर डिस्कस किया वो करता है that person or that department is known as executive institution of a government. They are called the executive because they are in charge of execution of policies of the government. Okay, why they are known as executive? Because they have, means they are somewhat, we can say, their function is to execute the things which are passing to the government, or the policies which are making to the government. Thus when we talk about the government, we usually mean the executive. Okay, so whenever we talk about the government, we generally mean the executive. Why executive? Because indirectly executive is the only role player of the or policy makers of a country or government. Now political and permanent executive. Now what we will see here, how political and permanent executive work together and how they are correlated to each other and what they are. In a democratic country, two categories make up executive. Okay, in a democratic country, we understand what do you mean by democratic country. A country where people has a right to choose their head of the government, or also they on the time, if they saw that the government or the head of the government is not performing the right duty in a right direction, they have also right to dismiss this. On that is elected by the people for a specific period is called a political executive. Okay, so suppose such kind of activities is performed or elected by the people for a specific time, that is known as political executive. Okay, just like take example of chief minister, governor, okay, prime minister. All these are, they have a power, they can execute, but they are just a political executive. Political leaders who take a big decision fall in these categories. Okay, all those political leaders who take a decision, they come under these categories. Now this is called the permanent executive or civil service. Okay, see, there is a lots of different. Suppose a political executive, and what is the difference between political executive and permanent executive? See, political executive and permanent executive, both function are almost same, but what is the difference? See, just I will let you know. See, suppose this is a permanent executive and this is a political executive. So basically what happened, permanent executive have right to make the decision, whereas political does not. Okay, they does not have right to execute, they have right to execute, and they are permanent, they are civil servants. Okay, means they cannot be easily removed. Okay, and they are the political people, they can be removed if they are not performing their job on time or in a right direction. So in such a case they can be removed, and they are appointed by the government, and civil servants are appointed through the various stages like examination or the some interviews. Now, so I hope you have understand this. Political and permanent executive person working in a civil service are called the civil servant. They remain in office even when the ruling party changes. Okay, we can see why the civil servants are known as permanent executive, because their duty or their service is not discharged if the any political party or ruling party changes. Whereas, just a minute, yeah, whereas political executive whereas political executive can be changed when the ruling party is not existing or they are changing. This office work under political executive and assist them in carrying out the day-to-day administration. Okay, basically these officers like civil servants, they work under the political executive and they have to assist them to carrying a day-to-day administration. Can you recall the role of political and non-political executive in case of office of memorandum? Okay, can you see that who were the people involved in this, were the political or permanent executive, or they were not political? You might ask, why does the political executive have more power than the non political executive? Generally because हमने तो यहाँ पे ये देखा कि पॉलिटिकल को हम हटा सकते हैं और रूलिंग पार्टी नहीं रहने पे वो जा सकते हैं, पर अगर हम पावर की बात करें तो परमानेंट और नॉन पॉलिटिकल एक्सिक्यूटिव के कंपैरिजन में पॉलिटिकल एक्सिक्यूटिव के पास ज़्यादा पावर रहता है. वाई इज द मिनिस्टर मोर पावरफुल देन द सिविल सर्वेंट्स? यू ऑल नो, टू बिकम अ सिविल सर्वेंट्स लाइक IAS ऑफिसर, IPS ऑफिसर, you have to work very hard, then only you can go through that and get the duty. But why there is a so much partiality? Why the political executive have more power than the civil servant? The civil servant is usually more educated and has more expert knowledge of the subject. The advisory working in a finance ministry know more about the economics than the finance minister. Obviously, sometimes the minister may know very little about the technical matters that come under their ministry. This could easily happen in the ministry like a defense industry, health, science, technology, mines, etc. Why should this the minister have the final say on this matter? Okay, जैसे कि यहाँ पे जो बता रहा है, बेसिकली हम ये समझ सकते हैं कि इतनी सारी चीज़ें होने के बाद भी ऐसा क्यों होता है कि जो सिविल सर्वेंट्स होते हैं, वी ये आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन गिव देम लेस right or less power as compared to the political executive. Even we can see the political executive if suppose belong from the any particular stream like a women justice, okay, or for the defense, science, industry, health, any sector, they might have contain the less knowledge, they might have less knowledge as compared to the civil servants. Then also they have been given a more power as compared to the civil servants. The reason is very simple. In a democracy, the will of the people is supreme. Okay, so as one thing is there, we are living in a democratic country. Okay, so in a democratic country, just thing is there, people is a supreme, no one is a supreme. Even the civil servant is not supreme. See, the political executive are elected by whom? People. If political executive are not performing their work on the time or in a right direction, the people have a right to remove them. While civil servants are qualified or they are appointed through the various examination on the basis of their knowledge, they cannot be dismissed through the common people, but political. So here is a basically why we have given more power to the political executive as compared to permanent executive. Reason is that we are living in a democracy country and political executives are appointed by the people. Now, she is finally answerable to the people for all the consequences. Just a minute. The minister is elected representative of the people and thus empowered to exercise the will of the people on their behalf. Okay, what happened? As I discussed, the ministers are elected by the people and they exercise the power of the people. So basically, they are the only answerable to the people. The minister decides the overall framework and objective in which decision on the policy should be made. Okay, so minister has a right to take the decision over on the overall policy where the decision should take. The minister is not and is not expected to be an expert in the matter of her ministry. Okay, there is no expectation that suppose a forest minister need all the information regarding the forestry. The minister takes the advice of expert on the technical matters. They are the technical civil servants or technical or supporting people who have a knowledge about that, and the just minister has to concern them. But very often expert hold different opinion or place before her uh, more than one option depending on what the overall sub objective is the minister decides. Okay, basically what it say, sometimes what happen, there are different opinion between the civil servants or the minister. So basically what happened, minister choose the one objective which is the solution of middle one. Actually this happen in any large organization. Those who understand the overall picture take the most important decision, not the expert. So basically what happened, see here also there is an civil servants or the expert are not getting a right to take the decision, even they have more much knowledge as compared to the minister. Here minister is only authorized. Okay, so here we can see if there is an expert is needed as compared to knowledge. The expert can tell the route, but someone with a larger view decides the destination. You can see, suppose expert is given, they can tell you the route, but suppose that people have a more experience, they can decide the destination. In a democracy, elected minister perform their role, this role. Okay, so in democracy, who play this role, that role is played by the minister. So basically here we saw the under the permanent or political executive, why the more power is given to the political executive as compared to the permanent executive. Reason behind it, that we are living in a democratic country and where the people have a right to elect the people head of the government and also right to dismiss them. So minister is appointed or elected by through the people, and if the minister is not performing the right work in a right direction, then people has a right to dismiss them. Okay, so that's why the reason more power is given to the political executive as compared to permanent. And we also saw there is a more than knowledge, more than experience, more than knowledge, more than expertness, there is also one thing is needed, broader view. Okay, suppose take example, our prime minister is not much educated as compared to a secretary or some other, okay, officers, but he has a more broader view, he can see most of the thing beyond them. So I hope you understand this topic, political and permanent executive, and enjoy a lot. We'll come to the next class with the next topic.